Greetings and welcome to the Homeless Consultant channel. My name is Paul B. I am the Homeless Consultant. And today I just want to make a brief video talking about a store chain of sorts that exists out here in Minnesota. I don't know where else it exists. Called Half Price Books. I'm not going to talk a lot about them, even though I could. Their business model is very offensive. But the fact is, back when I had my corporate job in my home, before I was living in this car, I spent a lot of money at Half Price Books because they generally did have lower prices and better selections, especially some of the esoteric things. But it's not half price. It's half price, maybe off the list price, which is just a random number generated by the manufacturer. You could easily find a lot of this stuff cheaper elsewhere. So that's the first problem, is the name Half Price Books isn't just a misnomer, it's deliberately misleading. But, you know, back then I had money, it was all in one place, it was convenient to get to. So I bought many hundreds of DVDs there, probably hundreds of CDs, especially their clearance ones, which used to be 99 cents. Now they jumped them up to $1.99 for some reason, although they don't give you any more when you sell them than they used to. Their books, hit or miss, it depends if they're used or what have you, what condition. They're not the greatest prices, but they're probably better than you would find at most bookstores. So I did a lot of shopping there. I couldn't begin to calculate probably the thousands of dollars I've spent at Half Price Books over the years. Never really enjoyed it, but the store I went to back when I had a home, the store I went to was much larger. You could move around in there, and you had some wiggle room. What I'm going to talk about here is the Half Price Books. It's closer to the location where I'm stranded now. So, as I'm going to say in my next and last video, and the reason that my next video will be the last is in large part due to this event yesterday at Half Price Books. I spent about 3 hours digging through my storage. My storage is just a chaotic mess at this point of random junk, empty boxes, packaging material, clothes, personal mementos, and other stuff you really can't sell to speak of. You can just give it away to, well, why not give it to Unique over here, the Unique store? You're giving it to, quote, charity. I never ever get a receipt to write it off on my taxes, but it's not really charity. They turn around and sell it. They're a for-profit. I tell you, some of these businesses that have come up in recent years that are based on this kind of NPR model, Starbucks kind of thing, these are really offensive. Like I said, calling it Half Price Books when they're half off of a jacked up phony price to begin with is really low class. It took me about 3 hours digging through storage to just hunt for anything I could sell because I had no money for gas or food in Minnesota winter here. I have nothing left, nothing. So I dug through there, and what I ended up with was the pile you see here. You know, some DVDs, box sets, Family Guy, about 10 CDs, one book. So I drove out there. It's about 5 miles to get there. There's about 10 stoplights each way. So just burning the last of my gasoline. It took about 30 minutes round trip. It was very dark. It was drizzling sleet. One of the first slippery days of the year, so it's very dangerous. It's extremely dark. I couldn't even see the lanes. And people drive like maniacs out here, even when it's slippery. So I was putting my home, where I live, at serious risk driving out there, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. If someone smashed into it, I'm sleeping outside, and as I said in the previous video, that's a death sentence for me. when you get to this place, this half-price books, this one is very small. It's incredibly tight quarters. I mean, if you get in there with a fat person, you can't, the two of you can't walk down the same aisle. I can't believe they're not embarrassed about this. It's basically single file, very, very tight. Now, I've said all along, I haven't had a shower in 6 weeks now, because there is no provision for showers for men south of the Twin Cities in the entire state of Minnesota that I'm aware of, having looked for it. So I don't smell very good. I don't really want to be in those kind of tight quarters for the benefit of others. For the benefit of others. But when you get there, one of the things they tell you is you can't go outside. I have kids working at this half-price books, and they're not very friendly to begin with. They're just not. They're the pretentious NPR kind of crowd, very patronizing, very young, no concept of what it even means to have respect for your elders. And I have these kids who probably weren't even born by the time I left graduate school, telling me, commanding me basically, not to leave the building until they give me a price, which takes them quite a while. So I have to just walk around these little narrow corridors, stinking up the place. Something I don't want to do, and frankly, something I doubt the other patrons there want me doing. But that's what my bosses, the kids who work at this place, told me I had to do. Also, when you get there, they always request your phone number. Always. I don't have a phone. I'm homeless. I don't really, they don't need my phone number. There's no reason they should have it. I don't want a phone call from Half Price Books. So they shouldn't be asking for it. And they shouldn't be asking for it in front of other people where I have to say something like, I don't have a phone. Or especially if I ever have to explain why I don't have a phone. You know, this just makes me look foolish up there. First I have to sit in there stinking up the place instead of being able to just leave when I drop these off and come back to get their offer, and then they ask me for the phone. I mean, it's just one thing after another at these places. The business model at Half Price Books is so offensive. Probably makes them a ton of money, but then again, look at what makes a lot of money in this world, and you tell me how legitimate, how ethical, how upstanding and upright, how decent those businesses are. So I give them this stack of stuff, and who knows how long it took, 10, 15 minutes. I had to wiggle around there just trying to avoid people. I didn't even have my glasses. I couldn't see anything in there anyway. I couldn't look at a book, couldn't see anything. So all I did for all that time was just keep trying to shuffle around, staying out of people's way, so they don't have to smell me. Then the girl there calls me over, and for all of this stuff here, for all of it, she offered me $2.25, which is approximately how much I paid in gas to drive out there and back, the very last of my gas. Based on, since I bought so many thousands of dollars worth of stuff from them over the years, I know their pricing scheme pretty well, and scheme's a good word for it, by the way. I did a low and a high estimate, and I'm doing this from memory because I bought those things, almost all of them, from Half Price Books. I'm doing it from memory. The high one may actually be low, because, for example, some of these box sets, they'll charge, you know, up to $14.99 for these things, and I'm assuming it's more like $7 or $8. So it could be as much as twice my high estimate. I don't know, but I'm trying to come up with a fair estimate because I don't like to lie. I don't like to deceive people, like, you know, using the term half price books, for example, on used books. The low end I get is that they could resell all that stuff for $85. The high I got was $105. So I'm very confident they could resell it for $85 to $105. Again, based on those box sets usually selling for much more than I'm pricing them at, it's probably more like $150, maybe $200, I don't know. But at least $105. They offered me $2.25. With this stack sitting right in front of me, they have the audacity to look me in the eye and offer me $2.25. And you know why they do it? Because people bring all these things in here, they haul them in there, and whatever they quote, most people will just take it. Because, for example, in my case, I spent 3 hours of my time digging through storage to find that little bit of stuff I had left. And all the time in the gas driving there. So most people, after all the effort they go to bring that stuff in there, they just say, oh, whatever. They may not like it. The money I was trying to get was meant to get me gas and food so that I could survive for a couple more days. What you're going to find in the next video is that thanks to things like this happening to me all the time, I mean, I'm talking about from government. Most businesses are not anything like half-price books. There's a few, but this is, I'm sorry, I mean, the only word I can use for it. In my opinion, can't sue a corpse half-price books. I think your business model is sleazy. That's my opinion. If someone else has a different opinion, put it in the comments. I think it's contemptible. It's absolutely disgusting. $2.25 for something that I almost certainly paid probably $150 to $200 for. You people make me sick. Even if I wasn't homeless, even if I didn't need that money literally for my last few days of survival in this world, that's just contemptible. Shame on you. And yet, from my experience with half-price books, I don't think they have any concept of what shame is. So what's the point of me saying it? People out there aren't going to boycott them because they behave this shamefully. So I'm just putting it online so you all know what happened. So you'll know what happened to me. Because I'm not going to make it. As I'm saying this here because I'm going to say it in the next video, but that's for anyone who actually cares about my channel versus landing here because they searched on half-price books. I'll just say it here. My next video, I'm going to announce that I'm not making any more videos because I can't. I'm out of gas, I'm out of money, I'm out of food, I'm freezing, and I'm beginning the process of dying from exposure and hunger in the United States of America. Thank you very much, Half-Price Books. Merry Christmas. Happy Holidays. I sure hope you enjoy your success.